So there's this new niche that's blown up all over YouTube Shorts, and it's getting millions and millions of views. And at first glance, the videos, they might seem incredibly hard to create, but what if I told you that there's a new secret AI tool that can create these animations in seconds? Now I'm going to show you how normal people are using this strategy to make a full-time income, like this account right here. This account's bringing in approximately $30,000 a month. And as you can see, they've got tens of millions of views on multiple videos, but the niche is still not saturated because most people just think that they're too difficult to create. So to make things simple, I put together a step-by-step document with all the steps that go into this strategy. I've also put the links to everything that I use in this video so that you can access it easily. So if you want to ease up the process for yourself, you can pick it up in the description below. Alright, so the strategy, it's divided into 4 simple steps, with the first one being to pick a viral topic. To do this, we're going to train ChatGPT to act as our topic generator and scriptwriter. Now this is where most people go wrong because they just ask it to generate some random topic. So instead, we're going to do something very different this time and train it to generate topics based on the ones that have already gone viral. So first, what you want to do is find a channel that has multiple viral videos, like our example channel called GeoGlobe Tales. Then you go ahead and you copy the URL to one of their successful videos. Next, you head over to this website called Tactic to extract the script. Then you just press this button, and that copies the script so you can head over to ChatGPT. What you want to do next is you paste the script in this exact prompt that I prepared for you inside the step-by-step document. And this prompt is going to make ChatGPT analyze the video's niche, type of topic, and script writing. And as you can see, it gives a full description of what's good about it and what could have been done better. So now that we've fed GPT with all the data it needs, ask it to give you a topic by entering the following prompt. Now have this feedback that you gave in mind because you're now going to be my YouTube Shorts scriptwriter. I want to create a video about interesting facts about US states. Can you give me a list of 3 to 5 facts that I can create a YouTube short about? And if you've seen these videos before, you know that almost every single one of them is about the US, which is no coincidence. Because by creating topics related to the US, you're going to attract viewers who are from there. And the reason you want to get as many American eyeballs as possible on your videos is because that's going to give you a higher RPM. Meaning that you're going to earn more money per 1,000 views that you get. And just remember, you need to be a part of YouTube's partner program just to even earn any money from your views at all. Now when it comes to shorts, you need 1,000 subscribers and 10 million views in the last 90 days just to apply for the partner program. And that takes the average channel about 6 months to reach. Now I don't want to spend too much time talking about this, but usually what people do that run many automation channels, they go ahead and they purchase pre-monetized accounts so that they can instantly earn ad revenue just from their first post. And you can get accounts like these from vendors like Monetized Profiles and a few other sites. But I want to move on with this video, so if you want another in-depth video on how me and a bunch of other guys use these monetized accounts when starting a new channel, go ahead and comment and let me know, and I'll do it if there's enough people that want it. Anyway, back to the topic. I'm going to use the topic 5 facts about the US to make this example pretty straightforward. Now you're going to generate this one prompt that is tailored to your own topic, and then ChatGPT is going to give you a list of 5 facts about the US. And if you want, you can include all of them in your video. Personally, I liked fact 1, 3, and 4 the most. And then next, you're going to ask ChatGPT to act as a professional YouTube scriptwriter and turn facts 1, 3, and 4 into a high-quality script for a YouTube short. Then what's going to happen now is that ChatGPT is going to write a script in the exact same style as the viral example that we gave it in the beginning. If you got this far, you should now have your script ready. And then the next step is just going to be to copy it and paste it into a Google Doc and make whatever changes that you want. For example, I'm going to remove all of the emojis and I'm going to change a few words here and there. And this is because AI is, sadly, it's not perfect, so a bit of human touch-ups are going to be often needed. And now that we have our topic and our script ready, we're going to need to create a voiceover. To do this, you're going to want to use a text-to-speech software like 11 Labs, which in my opinion, it's the best one out there because it has the most realistic voices, if you apply a few little tricks. For shorts like this, you won't need a paid subscription because they're short, so you can use it for completely free. And once you've opened 11 Labs, go ahead and click on Voices, then Add New Voice, and then pick one that you like. You can preview what each voice sounds like by clicking on this play button over here to the left. Now obviously you want to go with an American accent since we're creating a video about the US. So if you go to the top right, set the language to English and you'll be able to filter it down to voices with American accents. Go through the list and preview a few voices until you found one that you want to go with. Personally, I'm going to go with this one called Mark.
I think this is a really nice way to just talk naturally together, talk plainly.
Now, something that you're going to want to pay attention to is this little yellow star. Now that means it's a professional voice. These are the ones that sound the most realistic, and some of them you wouldn't even be able to tell that it's created with AI at all. Next hit add and then use, and that's going to take you to their text-to-speech feature. Paste in the script from your Google Doc into this text box and click on generate speech. After waiting a few seconds for it to be generated, go ahead and make sure to listen to the end result so that it sounds natural.
Ever wondered how weird US states can get? Did you know that Arizona doesn't do daylight saving time? While the rest of the country is jumping their clocks forward and back, Arizona's like, nah, we're good.
And when you're doing this, if you want to change anything, you can just make whatever changes you want and then regenerate it. So don't worry if it doesn't sound perfect on the first try. When you've done your changes, finally click on this little download button and it's going to get saved to your computer. And now that we have our voiceover ready, it's time that we're going to move on to the most important part of the tutorial: how to create the visuals. And this is where we're going to get into the really interesting parts. Now, if you've seen these videos before, you know that they're all using these advanced map animations, right? And I've been looking for a way to do this part for months, but I just couldn't find a way to do it without having to manually sit there and create them in Adobe After Effects. And let me tell you, that is not a fun time. But here's the kicker. I recently found a new AI tool, and it can create these animations with just a prompt. Now, this tool is called Hera, and there's tons of customizable motion graphic templates like article animations, cartoon animations, and more importantly for us, map animations. Now, what you're going to want to do is head over to Hera and sign up for a free account with your email address. And I want to mention though that at the time of this recording, Hera's still got a waitlist to use their tool, but supposedly it's going to be open for everyone to use shortly. Anyway, once you've got your account ready, find this template called Map Animation, 2 countries, and click on Use this template. As you can see on the layout, it's super easy to use. All you gotta do is enter a simple prompt describing what you want the animation to look like, and then Hera's gonna do all the hard work for you. On this screen, you're gonna get to see a little preview of what the result's gonna look like, and it's literally just like all the viral videos that have tens of millions of views. But the first thing you're gonna wanna do is adjust the format to 9:16, which is the vertical format used on short-form platforms. And then to create the actual animation for our own video, obviously has to be created based on our script. So go back to the document that you created for your script and see what countries or states are being mentioned. So for example, my script, it starts off with, ever wondered how weird US states can get? And that's followed up by a fact about Arizona. And for this part, we want to see the entire US in the beginning and then zoom in on the state of Arizona, because that's the one we're talking about. So to go ahead and create this animation, you want to enter a prompt that looks something like this. Show the entire United States with a highlight around it, then zoom in on the state of Arizona and highlight it. And within a few seconds, Hera's going to generate the exact animation that we asked for. And as you can see, the animation looks really smooth and the highlights are accurate. This animation itself, it would have taken a minimum of like 2 to 3 hours just to create manually in After Effects. So this tool is a real game changer, because now you can prioritize uploading a lot more frequently than your competitors. However, in the next part of the script, there's a fact about Alaska, so the animation has to change once again. So to do this, you need to slightly change the prompt to continue the animation. So I'm thinking I'd enter something like this. Continue the animation and zoom in on the state of Alaska with a highlight around it. Hera's then going to keep the same animation in the beginning and then add an extra part where it zooms out of Arizona and then into Alaska with a highlight effect around it. I think you're starting to understand how this tool works. So from here, you just want to continue this process until you've included all of the countries or states that are included in your script. Now in my script, the last fact is about Hawaii. So I'm going to add in a part at the end where it goes from Alaska to a zoom in and highlight on Hawaii the same way that we did earlier. And you can do that by adding a prompt that's saying, finally add a zoom out at the end so that the entire United States is visible the same way that it was in the beginning. And by ending the video with the same shot that it started out with, it's going to give this loop effect as if the video is never ending, which viewers, they seem to really like right now. Okay, so the visuals are done. The last thing to do is to click on Export in the top right corner. Just remember, to get the best possible quality, you have to set the resolution to 1080 format to MP4, frame rate to 60, and then finally, just go ahead and hit the export button. Now let's move on to the editing part, and this is where we're going to put all of the visuals and the voiceover together. I'm going to be using CapCut as my editing software, because you don't need to do any crazy editing, so any editing software is going to work. Now, I'm on the CapCut Pro plan since they recently removed captions from the free version, so I'd kind of recommend that you do it too. I mean, you can get away with the free plan, but you're going to miss out on a few features that's going to make the video look a lot better. The first thing you want to do is open up a new project and import all of the assets. Start off by dragging the voiceover down to the timeline. If there's any pauses in it, make sure you cut them out by making 2 cuts around the silent moment and then just deleting it. And that's going to make the voiceover flow better and sound more realistic. Next, you want to drag down the clip with our visuals. And at first, it's probably not going to match the voiceover, so you're going to have to play around with it and adjust it a bit. So just go through it and cut away the parts of the map animation so that it matches the voiceover. For example, you see in the beginning on this first part where the whole US is shown, it's just way too long. So I'm going to cut away a few seconds of it. Continue this process of cutting away parts of the map animation until everything is synced with each other. And then once everything is matching, we can move on to the next part, adding captions. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this used to be available in the free plan, but now you're going to need to get a pro version for this. You can, of course, do it without the paid feature, but it's going to take a really long time syncing everything manually. So to make things simpler, I'm just going to use the paid feature. So to use it, you go ahead and click on Captions in the top left and hit Generate. CapCut's then going to transcribe the entire voiceover for us automatically and generate the captions. And don't forget, you can customize them and add your own caption style by looking to the right and then clicking on Animations. You're then going to have hundreds of pre-made templates to choose from. So make sure to just go through a couple of them and then pick one that you like. For me, I'm going to go with this one. Now simply click on the one that you want to add and it's going to automatically be added to the entire caption track. And the last part of editing, sound design. And believe it or not, this makes up for 50% of if your video goes viral or not. Because if the sound design is shit, it's gonna flop, guaranteed. You can start with sound effects to make the video feel more alive. And for this video, I want to add a whoosh effect every time there's a zoom in or zoom out. But finding sound effects, they can be a real pain in the ass sometimes, because you're going to have to search around for each sound effect manually, and it's just going to take you hours and hours. And remember, time is money. So what I've done is I put together a Google Drive file with hundreds of viral sound effects covering pretty much every niche out there. Whoosh sound effects, meme sound effects, and pretty much every other effect there is. You'll find everything in there. So if you want to save yourself some time, instead of manually looking for sound effects, click on the link in the description and try it out for yourself. I picked up a few kinds of whoosh sound effects that I'll add throughout the video every time it fits. And finally, to make the video feel less boring, you should definitely add some background music. Because after looking at some of the top channels in the niche, I've noticed that they're all using some kind of cheerful, funky beat.
TikTok, Temu, and CapCut. Sweden invented Spotify, Minecraft, and Candy Crush.
To find a track for your own video, you want to head over to a website called Pixabay, and that has thousands of copyright-free songs that you can use. Just set the category to music and search for whatever music genre that you like. I'm going to put in cheerful beat. You'll then get a list with hundreds of songs from that genre, which you can all preview by clicking on the play button. Once you found one that you like, go ahead and click the download button in the bottom right corner. And then you want to head back over to Canva, upload the song like you did with the visuals and sound effects, and drag it down to the timeline. Listen through it a couple of times to see if it sounds good. Now, in most cases, you're going to have to lower the volume a bit by adjusting the bar to the right so that it doesn't take over the voiceover. Once the music is all set, you're finally ready to export the video. Click on Export in the top right, set the resolution to 1080, frame to 60, and export the video. Here's how it turned out.
Ever wondered how weird US states can get? Did you know that Arizona doesn't do daylight saving time? While the rest of the country is jumping their clocks forward and back, Arizona's like, nah, we're good. Next, think Texas is the biggest state in the US? Try again. Alaska is so huge you could actually fit Texas inside it twice, and still have space for most of California.
And as you can see, the quality is almost identical to the ones that got millions and millions of views. The only difference is that theirs, they spent hundreds of dollars on freelancers or hours in front of screens, while you did it in less than 10 to 20 minutes. Now, I don't know how much longer that this niche is going to be printing, so make sure to get on it while you can. And if you like my AI tutorials like these, leave a like and also comment what tutorial that you want to see next, and I'll go ahead and do it. The feedback is actually really important for me when I look for video topics myself. But before you do that though, there's one thing I thought you should know about that I usually don't talk about too often. Now, I get hundreds of messages every day from people who ask me how to grow a faceless channel to profitability as soon as possible. So recently, I've started a brand new mentoring program where I'm going to help you directly one-on-one with everything that goes into starting your own faceless channel. I started this channel about 2 years ago and have since grown it to almost 300,000 subscribers. But I could have gotten there a lot faster if I knew what I know today and had a mentor that told me just straight up what to do. So in my program, I'm going to share all of the biggest mistakes that I made, how you avoid them, and what you should do instead. And if you don't get any results before the program is over and start making money from your faceless YouTube channel, I'll refund you the whole amount. So there's literally no risk on your side. But just a note, I only take on a few people every month because I just want to make sure I'm not spreading myself too thin around a bunch of clients. So if you want to shoot your shot, I've left the link to apply in the description. Hopefully I'll see you in the program. And if not, see ya.